As you probably guessed, I'm spending the night at my winter camp. I got tons of work to do out here, and the only way to get it all accomplished is to spend the night. I got my chainsaw warming up by the fire. I brought out a ton of supplies, which was very difficult to get out here. I'm very tired already. So I'm going to get to work. It's definitely time to clean out the stove. Just got the fire going to defrost my chainsaw, and I noticed that this bolt is working its way loose already. This is one of the two that I just had put in with the Loctite. So it's a good thing I have a toolbox already out here with a few things. And I found a to-do list from last year when one of my first snowmobile rides out here. That's pretty cool. On my last trip I threw out some leftover food over this cliff for the animals. You can see there's just a swarm of tracks all around there. Mostly coyote. One of my first jobs is to get all this firewood back to camp using my sled. You can see I have my homemade pulp hook made from rebar. Pretty handy tool. And I always try to get my chores that involve me being away from camp done first. This way, once the sun goes down, I don't have to leave camp. I decided to use these hooks from camp to help speed up the whole process of loading the sled. Instead of running that rope through all these attachments, I just hook it on there. I got 4 of these, so I'm going to see if it works. One thing my friend told me who fixed my chainsaw is to always carry a paintbrush with you. So when you're topping up your bar oil, you can clean away all the sawdust and around your gas cap as well. The last thing you want is sawdust getting into your bar oil or gas.
Oh, for the love of why are you being such a...
Well guys, I'm officially ticked right off. Fighting with this chainsaw. I finally got it going. I went over to that spot way up that hill to start cutting up that log. And it wouldn't start again. Then I thought it seized up. I couldn't pull this pull cord at all. It was hard as a rock. I actually pulled the rope right through the handle. So to take apart this whole side of my chainsaw, start working that crank by hand. Finally broke loose. Put 3 knots in this rope here, so hopefully it won't come through again. And I just got it going again finally, but I thought it was seized. I got my chainsaw going once again, but it just keeps wanting to seize up. After I took it in, the guy told me to put some premium gas in it, and I put 2.6 ounces of two-stroke oil in with 1 gallon of gas, and it just wants to seize up. Because a lot of times I buy this premix 50-to-1 ratio, so I don't know what's going on. But it looks like my chainsaw days are over. My dad always told me to never let a good fire go to waste. I've got a huge pot filled with snow melting on the stove. Well guys, things aren't going as planned, and I realized a long time ago that they never do. I lost about 2.5 hours fighting with that chainsaw again. And we don't have a lot of daylight at the moment, so that's a lot of time. A lot of this huge tree I bucked up, this is all I have left to bring back to camp. I got 11 more rounds here. Been working hard all day long. And all these pieces here have a limb frozen into the ground. I think that's all the wood I'm going to haul for today. I got this one all prepared for tomorrow. Plus one more load over there. And up that hill, I got about, I don't know, 20 rounds to move. Sun's going down fast, so I got to start worrying about my outside fire now. This is my firewood I collected a long time ago, just for my outside fires only. My plan today was to buck it up into 6-foot lengths, but that didn't happen. And it's all frozen in a big block of ice and snow anyways. But my plan was to use all these bigger pieces here on the bottom for my fire base. This outside fire here is very slow to catch. Everything's soaking wet. And it's hard to believe it's just after 4 o'clock. I finally got the fire going in my smoker. I have a little section of stovepipe and my deer hide that's folded over like a tube and stitched together. I'm going to slip that end over the stovepipe. I got all this punky spruce here to keep feeding for smoke, and that's going to tan my deer hide. Got some Jiffy Pop. I'm just starving. Supposed to have this a couple hours ago. Haven't eaten all day, so this is tasting really good right now. There's my late supper, some chicken and onion. I have my stove turned around, facing my bed. This way I can add logs without getting up. And I can do that because I added this swivel a couple years ago. I can turn my stove whichever way I want. I added my air intake. This is a long pipe that runs right outside, so I'm drawing air from outside and not using up the air inside. I think it's a bit safer that way. Now I have to start cleaning up, putting away things I don't need, and getting ready for bed. There's my supper. Chicken and onion. I cooked it in butter and lard. cooked perfectly, nice and juicy, and it's warming my belly. I think I'm going to add the soup mix. Got a lot of nice broth down there. Make it a bit heartier. I brought out my large pot of water, put over the fire. It's probably about half full. I want to bring it to a boil before I drink it. And this way I'm not creating a bunch of steam inside my shelter. I think I'm inside for the night. I got some wood piled up right beside my bed so I don't have to reach over too far. And I think it's time to take off these boots. Of course, I always bring out some slippers with me to wear inside. And I have my parka hanging up, making sure it's nice and warm and dry. Life is good right now. Having some Fireball and hot apple cider. Relaxing, smoking a pipe. Got my deck of cards here that came with my bottle of whiskey over there. I know it's probably hard to see, but I built this tabletop and I just nailed it onto one of my rounds. So now I finally have a proper table. I can play cards on here, all that kind of stuff. Well, I didn't win my game, but that's okay. I am so bloody tired. Time for bed. It's about 11 o'clock right now. Just stoking the fire before I hit the hay. It's about 4:45 in the morning. I brought out this fireplace mesh a couple months ago, and it's really helping. I can have the door open, and whenever the sparks pop out, I don't have to worry about them landing on me. First few hours I was kind of cold. I don't know why. It's not really that cold out. Just a cold sleeper, I guess. But it's quite nice and warm. You can see my hide smoker set up now. Smoker on the bottom with the little stovepipe, and my hide hung up with this rope. Worked pretty good. I smoked it for about, I don't know, 6 hours last night. Sun is up and time to get back to work. I gotta move this load back to camp. I got one more small load here. I also have a ton up that hill over there, but I'm gonna save that for another time. I think I'm gonna split up a few pieces replace what I burned last night if I have time, and I'm going to go for a little morning hunt. Can't stay for too long because I have a Christmas dinner to go to tonight. That's not a bad pile of wood right there. And that's not even all of it. Up the hill I probably have about 17 more rounds, and if my chainsaw would have ran properly yesterday, I would have had over 30. Once you spend a night in the cold, remote wilderness, you gain a whole new respect for our early pioneers. Frigid temperatures, a wood stove with an insatiable appetite for firewood, the never-ending chores in an unforgiving landscape, short days and long nights where time seems to halt, and a land that dictates your actions and where brief moments of leisure are savored. This is what they endured every day. In about 15 minutes I replaced everything I burned last night pretty much. Just a matter of getting it back to my shelter, which I'll do some other time. No luck on my rabbit hunt so far. Maybe I got something on my trail cam. Let's have a look.
Hey, thanks for watching.
If you like our content,
feel free to subscribe here.
Don't forget to hit that bell.
So you'll get a notification
As soon as a new video is uploaded.
And we hope to
Catch you guys on another video.